So I want to do a quick video about hard surface. I've had a couple of questions about how to sort of get hard surface looking shapes in Medium. And I thought I'd just show a little bit of my workflow just quickly. Yeah, grid, settings, do this, centimeters, 20. Okay, the grid's there just so it's a bit easier to see. Don't really want a grid snap. Oh yeah, that's right. So mirror, and yeah, so basically to give an idea. Oh, stutter there, big stutter. To give an idea about sort of shaping things in Medium, what I like to do is start with a shape I like, whether it's that. It really doesn't matter, I just start with anything really. And I might shape a design as such, and I keep an eye on the resolution of the layer, which is like this edging here. You can see that it's efficient, but if you up-res it, you can make it more cleaner. So when you up-res it, what it does is it adds sort of like divisions to the voxel layer, but you can also smooth that out and get a better finish. The next thing I usually do for something like this is grab the clay tool and the capsule, and with a bit of steady stroke and negative, like a negative tool, we can do a couple of things. We can just basically cut into the surface like that. That might be a little bit too high. Cut into the surface like that, and you end up with a very nice, clean-looking cut or surfacing. The more you use Medium, the more you become confident in the cut work. And the slower you go, the less of the jittering on the surface you'll get too. So usually it comes with a couple of tries. Just cut the surface away like that. And another way to do it is also just to take the same surface and duplicate it, and then move it up and sort of fashion out a bit more of the design how you see fit. So if you want a bit of an arch at the back here, you can pull this arch out and shape it a bit like that. If you want to bring the front forward and change the shape of it more like a racer, then you can do that too, and then come back and sort of clip out some things you're not happy with and tidy them up, and almost treat both surfaces as like a continuum of each other. You know, like you're sort of thinking about the application of both of them together and what they represent. So if this part was to be a little bit more up-resed, then we can start to shape the front grille and maybe some design work for that. So again, just clipping back the areas you see fit and getting a nice shape for basically having some fun, you know. The smooth tool is usually better to use in many ways, very lightly on the edges. Won't destroy the shape too quickly, and bringing the surface back into itself you can end up with a good looking shape. And I usually like to sacrifice quite a bit. Like I'll push out with a big move tool like that to follow the arc. I might just cut this completely out. Just add a new layer, and then let's bring this up a bit more. Almost look like lips, don't they? Yeah, and so, you know, however you see fit, really. Sorry about that. So let's say we just like trash that part there and work it out a little bit further. Next thing you can do is basically just add a new layer, and whatever new layer in this area here adds a new layer from the next one down in the stack. So if this resolution, what I'm trying to say is that layer 3 has a certain resolution to it, right? Sorry, layer 1. Like that. You can see the boxes around the clay, and layer 3 will be the same resolution stepping down. So same resolution next. So if you add a new layer, it's the same resolution as the last layer. If you add a new layer from here, add sculpt layer, that gives you a default, like the default scale of resolution. If you can see the box, the circles here, that's one circle, and the other one is a bit smaller, right? So 2 different sizes. So what we just want is the same resolution as the last layer. And if you were to add some clay here, and you want to fashion up this area, then you can just do a shape and bring that into position and follow the contour over. And I'm just using the joystick to shrink the using the joystick with the move tool to scale the tip down of the object, of the scale. We can just sort of fashion that in again like that. Maybe push it in tight like this. And another trick with the move tool is to use the square box and push it in, and you'll get a really flat, like a flattened or like a H polish kind of look. It has limitations, but you can get pretty great results with it. Or you can just clip it completely, like just clip it off, like, clip it like that, and come through here and creatively clip it like that, and same sort of thing there. It really can just be a set of undos to when you're happy, you know, like that. We can start to move out this shape, and if you drag the joystick left and right, you get a quick scale, and if you go up and down, you get a slow scale. We can sort of drag these little bits out. Maybe make like an intake wing. That's cool. With this one here, there's a couple of things. So if we look at the edges again, you've got like this edge resolution, and to increase that, you want to increase it once, and then just do a little bit of light smoothing, like really light, just to get rid of it. And another trick, which is turning the strength completely down on the move tool and just grabbing it, and just it smooths, it does a micro smooth on the surface, which is really helpful. especially when you're getting banding, like really strange banding from like over-resing things. So if we grab that and then let's say we bring these down. I'm being a little directed with this today just to sort of show something that's a bit more substantial rather than doing a random design. I usually change the scale of the move tool quite a lot to try and find the right feel for the surface the contour I'm following, or the contour or shape I'm surfacing. We want to bring this forward like this, and if we switch again to that square tool, that square move tool, we can really flatten off that base there, and flatten in there. And we want to clip this. I actually like that, so I'm going to stick with that shape. Bring that forward, that, and again, got a little bit of smoothing there, which is kind of fine when you're going for those fine tips. Okay, so with a shape like that, and then on here we want to add maybe just a. I mean, the funny thing with medium is I can sculpt the shape out. Like I can sculpt the cockpit shape out like this, like that, right? Or I can just add a blob like that, and I can use the move tool and start gaining the shape that I want, and then bringing the shape up and tightening it in to follow the contour, and tightening it at the back and changing it to something like metal. I always like the really shiny roughness is kind of better for reading the surface, but I just love it when it's shiny. So to read the surface, it's better to be rougher and not that rough, and to shape it, we want to sort of look at it in unison with the other contour shapes, and we can kind of get we're going to get a fin out of this, like that. Bring that back. Right. It's almost like a and squash it back into itself, and then whip its tail, and we can do the same thing again, which is, oh, it's very thin. Okay, so I'll fix that up. I've actually created a contour inside there. We'll go to plane and angle snap, and we're going to fill this gap here. Unfortunately, I'm looking through the surface. Turn angle snap off and give it a bit of a smooth. It's a bit harder now because if you're shaping something, you want to keep the direction and the angle. Oh, I'm just rambling really. As I'm sculpting. Let's not talk. So something like that, and then we can come back in with plane angle like this, and cut that nice and tight, and same sort of thing here. See, that's the thing, like that becomes troublesome, so I'm going to cut that off completely. And that too. And fill this area. We might just teardrop it to there. That's better. No, not really. Bring this up. Like that. Bring this tight to the end. Okay, we've got a bit of a crease in here. And we want to bring this nose down so it's more aerodynamic. Like that. And check the surface again. So I'll just basically roll the surface over itself without getting too many errors. Like that. And so we get this banding, and if you can see, quite easy to see the banding. Better way to get rid of that is to just do 0 strength on the move tool, and you get rid of the banding. So might want to up-res this one more time, and then just shape it off again. Like that. Okay. So we kind of make a bit of a craft shape, and things are a little bit too big at the moment. And so we'll grab this, bring it down, grab this, and so shape its top edge. This is just creative, like workflow. Like I'm just going with the flow here. Like I know that they're not perfect and etc. but I'm kind of allowed to do whatever I want really. So duplicate this layer and then move it out like that and bring it forward and try and add some shaping to its design a bit more and not make it look so boring. And same sort of thing again. You can clip the surfaces and not make them look like they've been taken straight from the move tool. We can adjust them, increase that res as well. Cut the back end off because we don't need it. We only need the front. Get ourselves a nice clip, and then bring the contour back into itself this way, and change the behavior of this point more like a front bonnet, and bring this up so it's behaving more. Bring this nose down, and then basically I did want these as intakes, but we might just drag out the base of this. We'll sculpt out the base. So bring that down and sculpt that out a little more. And I want to just cut in here a little bit. Still low. What is something else like this? It could be bigger. I mean, it works okay, be sharper. So you can sharpen things up by just dragging the surfaces into each other. You can spend quite a while, quite a long time shaping surfaces so that they read with the move tool, and that's pretty important, especially when you're working with very like fluid style shapes. The higher you get in resolution, the more the move tool and the smooth tool will behave very differently. So I'm going to cut this out completely, move that down, just cap it off there like that. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but we'll just leave it at that. And the rear section needs to come out more. We can tip it there, more with these two. So check the language. From doing that, we need to now make these bigger. So 100%, maybe 85 or 69, whatever. And bring this out. It's still, looks okay. Bring some of this back. That's super high now. So sort of being conscious of your layer resolution most of the time, and knowing that when you make something that's just too high, it's just going to fail. It's just going to take longer to do something, you know, efficiently, rather than just have fun making it. You know, you sort of get stuck with like technical dramas where things are lagging. So now I'm going to have issues with this because I don't necessarily want to have that shape there. Move tool, just nudge it up. Again, always looking at the silhouette. So the silhouette here in the background, I'm looking at this dark edge here, and as I'm using the move tool, I'm pushing up, and I'm just checking the contour and the silhouette so that I know that I'm not getting too blobby with it, you know, like keeping it nice and natural and form-like, but also not ruining it into just blobs. So that's something like that, and we could probably merge these two. No, we'll take this and do some more cut lines in here, because we have a shape in here which is nice. And grab the capsule. We're going to have to cut this way. And then we notice that doesn't have enough resolution. If we cut this in half, using line and cut and angle snap. Usually mirrors a dangerous thing to do with high resolution and cut. So if we turn mirror off and we just pick our spot, so we just want to cut this shape here, this whole shape here, I just want to cut this completely in half. And just close to this area here, so we'll cut that. And so by not using mirror, the calculation happens twice. So basically it cuts one side and cuts the other side, and then it sort of calculates it and then makes sure it all lines up. If you turn mirror off and just do a clean cut, then it happens so much quicker. I'll turn it off and then grab this shape here, which is now separate. up-res it, increase the res. Okay, and then do a cut. That. Nice and relaxed cut, and we're going to bring it down. I'll smooth it out. Bring it down. Bring this up. You see that the move tool's just stalling a little bit on the moves because it is a very high res layer. So if we moved a little bit of it there, so move that back up. Okay, so let's turn the grid off for a sec because it's distracting me, and have a little look at the shape. So basically that's a shape full of, you know, hard edge surfaces that somehow negotiate a shape together, and you know, whether they work or not is open to interpretation. For me, again, it's just about having fun and not, you know, not getting too wound up in the technical stuff. And to add little details, well, that's up to you. You can add surface details, and adding surface details means you can just either do single cuts straight in. We might use something like this and do a surface, that, or you might want two there, and one here, or a couple here. Who knows? It's really up to you. Like, you can choose different shapes to cut with, like this. That's not enough resolution on that layer, so increase the resolution. Check it again. Seems okay. Give it another one. This surface underneath it is also something to play with, so we can sort of play with this as well. Turn off single, go to continuous, come back and cut through like that, and then take that, and this would potentially be maybe like a wing shape. Let's see if we can get one out of it within the design. Probably not. We're not messing it up. Trying not to get too lost in my shark. Studying hammerheads lately. So bring that in, tight. And end up with a natural style. Yeah, I'm restricting myself a little bit here because I don't want to go too crazy, but if I grab one of these leading edges, I'll probably get away with it. And connect that to there. I'm just shifting, basically shifting itself into itself. Okay, and then tight. Okay, so that's, you know, it's pretty bizarre, but we'll stick with that. Let's dupe this and rotate it on its scene origin because we've kept everything pretty clean. No, we'll do it as on object. I'll do it to 0. And we will rotate that. And move it down. Check it. Oh, got some issues with the rotation. So object. This seems alright. Bring it down. And then rotate it forward. See if we can get something out of this. Again, it's all open to creative interpretation. Like if I want to have a shape that does this, then that's great, you know. Does it work? Maybe. Bit of a tip there, yep. Merge those two layers. You can see here that the boxes, the voxel boxes are the same size, so the merge data is quite high, but it's not going to take that long because they were both exactly the same resolution in the voxel box. With this, we can then take the bottom half of this section and what would you say, support some of this stylization and make a bit more of a shape of it and keep some of that interesting stuff happening from the duplicate. If that makes sense, then it makes sense, I guess. So yeah, so kind of got interlapping, overlapping shapes that work and don't work, you know. Again, open to interpretation. Just going to move that. What's that? That. Merge those. So here we go. I'm about to merge two layers together. So one is quite large in its voxel size, and one is really, one is really high resolution, and one is quite low. So doing this, medium merges to the highest resolution layer. So if I now merge this, it's going to have to calculate this layer here, subdivide it a couple of times so it reaches this resolution, and then we'll end up with a piece. So I can help it by adding resolution to this layer prior, but it's actually pretty, sorry, to this, oh, hang on, maybe I'm just, yeah, one more. My clipping is coming close, but I'm just out. Yeah, I'm not going to get clipped on that one. So now they're the same size, which is fine, and then we can merge that. And that's safely merged with a clip. So the clip happened because the rotation of the last layer, this layer here and this layer here. Now to fix that, because we know that we have a little bit of room on the front here, if we needed to fix that, we can first of all center to bounds, and then same one here, center to bounds. And if we check it now, we're still going to get clip. Yeah, so the clip's going to happen here. Let me work this out. I'd rather the clip happen on the front because I'm going to extend that, but I don't want the tail to clip. So we can, I think we could just move the origin. Can we just move the origin out? Maybe not. And then center bounds like that. Oh. Well, you know. The best thing, the only thing you do next is you just derez it. Just derez it like that. Derez both. And this one, derez. And they're pretty high anyway, so you're not going to lose any detail. And then merge that. Exactly the same size. Okay, so you've got a shape there, and then to add more details, you want to go into here, and then add a new layer. Something like this. Grab this. Move this. Start sort of fashioning the rail lines around an object. I hope I'm not talking too softly. I wasn't my intention. I think I'm more thinking about what I'm saying rather than actually just free sculpting. So we can do a shape like that, and then we can then do many more. So even like around here, up and around here, which we'll do. Let's do that. So add a shape here, new layer, add a shape. There's clay, squash it in, bring this up. No need to worry about if it's not perfect. And pull that around. Corners, this actually needs more resolution. Corners are funny because you can sort of take the edge. So you take it and then rotate with the grip button, the yellow grip here. You can just sort of rotate the scene as we hold it, which is so cool. Like that's just some of the best things that Medium has. And bring this through a bit of here, and oh, we're going under. Okay, and under to there. Okay, so we've got a bit of pinstriping there and rail lines. And we add a new layer here, which is going to keep the same resolution of our voxel box there. And we'll just add one here. And then flatten that out a little bit. And it's kind of, I like adding these things sometimes because it also does hide some of those edgy, some of the edgy resolutions, but you know, it's pretty much a bit of preference. If it starts to squeeze out, you just push it back into itself, or you can scale it up a little bit with the move tool. Like that. Or take it from an earlier part of the arc, bring it down. I guess we can go add just a little bit more clay to this section because it's starting to just drift away. Smooth it out, and we can then bring this rail this way. Oh, she's getting fine now. So that kind of detailing is you know, like garment design, and you know, making things look like jewelry or something like that. You know, it gets back to that kind of sentimentality. Add a little bit more clay here if we want to keep going. You can end up in pretty odd situations where you don't necessarily want to change the design, all that work you've done. You just want to sort of add to it. Like that. And then grab Just scale it up with the move tool by pushing forward on the joystick, and that gives you a bit more clay. And following the contour around like that, and we'll just hide it under there for now. We could join it up. I guess we have to join it up, don't we? So bring it up. Bring it up there. Bring it up to there. Okay, so we've got a bit of a shape like that, and with these things here, we can just do the same sort of thing, like duplicate that, and then just start to change the details a little bit more by adding, you know, another layer next to it, and roughly bringing out some more details and panels. Yeah, speaking of panels, if we were to, let's say on this section here, and we wanted to add panels to it, we could basically use the same methodology, which is using the capsule and surface. We can basically sculpt out, grab a new layer. If we want to take the metal, we grab a new layer, sculpt it out on the surface. Smooth it off, turn off surface, and then come in and cut it like that. Same with that there, follow the shape. Same with there, like that. End up with a plate or a panel that can either be manipulated more by using the move tool to drag it across the surface, like we did with the pinstriping, and then clipped back around the edges like that. You can even cut through it if you feel like it. It's really, you know, up to you. You can do some design changes. Cutting through it's interesting because you can do like full cuts, doing an angle snap cut. Or you can use the line tool and do, you can do angle snap and then change the snapping to like 45 and then do 45-degree cut there and a 45-degree cut there. Have to merge the ones that we make because they make separate shapes. Something like that, and then you can do smoothing on this, so we can smooth the edge off a little bit each side. Oops. Just gently. Same with this one. And then we can clip out parts from there using something like angle snap, and you can just clip that, or you can merge both and then do a single cut, single clip like that. It's not mirrored, so yeah. So that's that stuff. To get picky with it, you can really play around with what you've got there. Just got to remember to merge them on mirror. They're merged. Sort of do some strange little designs. Really doesn't mean much really at all. So yeah, that's that's just a pretty loose way of understanding layering surfaces on top of each other and making something that's almost hard surface or looks hard surface. And it's really up to your skill and creativity to find the parts that work together, and you know, have fun with it, because that's what it's all about. Not be so attached, not be so attached and so serious, and stuff like this. We can maybe do a line. I like that corner edge there. It's not lined up with the one below it. Yeah, so anyway. Got clipped. Totally clipped. Let's just undo that and then go back to this, decrease the resolution, and do it again, because we want to get over here, right? That. Seems pretty clean. And then on the front nose, we'll grab these and bring them tighter. It's like a Quake logo. So yeah, so that's more of a fashion stylization craft. You know, it's not absolutely explicit to a period or form or whatever. It's really just having fun, you know. Yeah. Wonder what we can do with these. Let's bring them tight. See, I'm getting a bit safe with it, so yeah. That's a bit of a tutorial or a walkthrough of doing hard surface like layering and shaping in Medium, and I hope you enjoyed it. Excuse me, and yeah, hope it's helpful, and have fun, and see you later. I'll just let me just change the camera. Hang on. It's a bit more. A bit flatter. sorry, I thought it was ending, but I'm not. Basically, add your light to your layer. So now, every time your layer moves, your light moves with it. You can change the scale of your light if it's a bit too intense. Just want a softer one. That can be a bit of a harder light. And when you've got it up here like this, it's flowing that way. Like that. Change the power of your HDR or the image-based lighting in medium, so we can turn the IBL down, turn the sun brightness down. We end up with more of a cut anime sort of style, which is really nice. I love this stuff. And we can change the brightness of the sun to bring back some of the shadow in the inside in here, but we still get some nice dark shadows. And brings out the cut lines, especially in here. Yeah. Oh, and with this stuff here, we can go a new layer and then add like and then move, bring these things over to each other. Also use these to do, so I thought I was ending, but now I'm not. You can also use these to do Boolean operations, and that's quite fun too, because you end up with some pretty cool looking shapes and designs by using the Boolean operation on top of a surface. And if we do that with, let's say, this part, these two parts here, we'll find that we can cut straight through this part. So we'll merge both this and this, and then cut it from this, subtract, and we end up with like something like that, right? If you're more picky about it, you can really go in and change the tightness of it and push it a bit further, or just have it on the surface really, really close and make cut lines like that. Same with over here. You know, you could basically like paint surface layers with a very, very high steady stroke like that, and then you could just cut, subtract that from that, and you end up with a very clean cut contour line. If you want it to be a bit more sharper about it, there's my layer. I suppose it kind of gets a bit wispy. You'd really need to sort of be direct. That can be difficult in VR sometimes, to be quite direct in your shaping. Too much steady stroke can, so you can sort of fluke it by just doing a couple of loose tries. And you could probably move it into shape a little bit to what you want. So it was tight. And and then do a cut from that. So it's not. So that to that, and subtract. Something like that. Which is okay, but it's a bit destructive. You potentially could do, oops, do full, like, do it how we're doing this pinstriping, but just lay out like the panels, like, basically. Where are we at? So new layer, add that. But the surface style is good because you know how many like how deep the contour, how deep the cut's going to be. Doing it this way is sort of like you're kind of guessing. You know, if we were to do a shape like that, and then stop. Yeah, it's a bit. This is a bit tedious. The tedious method. To the, yeah. You just do that. Let's go subtract. Still, either way works. You can even do them as full panels like we did before with like do capsule panels. Here's my layer. Yeah, do capsule panels like this. And then smooth them out a bit. Turn off surface, and then clip them this way. Clip them that way. And clip it this way. And that, and then basically go subtract. So you've got yourself a panel, and it's even got some interesting things underneath it, you know, like it looks pretty good. Like I'd be happy with doing little panels like that work. Like I like that, looks really nice. You can do them on here. So you just go however you want, you know. And so the panel to go here. Another one here, and another one here. I don't have to be exact because I'm coming back to clean them up, you know. So follow the shape. This shape, this hard cut that way, and same again with this one in here. Might want to move that down more. And if you don't do too much weird moving, you'll still keep the same surface depth. This would be good if this was further back this way. I think there will be some parts that look a little bit odd. Something there. If we grab this and just do subtract, and we do that kind of paneling as well. You could even save, like you could even duplicate this, so dupe it, and then just select the other panel and do a subtract. Oops. So subtract, right? I'm doing the wrong thing. So that and that. And then with this one, we can then do a smooth and actually keep the surface and the cut together. Like that. But you get a little limited with your what you're allowed to sort of keep. If we to clip that out, and then you can work it like doing things like that, right? So we'll go back to that, subtract that from that, and that's cool. Yeah. So that's some panel cutting and overall shaping and design as I would use it in Medium. I'm not happy with this part here. This needs to come out. Okay. Yep. Okay. So yeah, that's a bit of shaping and design. If it works for you, that's great. Makes me happy. And then yeah, like I said, just have fun, and hope it helps. I'm now getting picky. There we go. All right. The shadow looks better on this side. There we go. So there. Some nice shadow cuts there. Cool. There we go. Could be a pretty good thumbnail, don't you think?